Daily Mail reports Governor Ron DeSantis signs bill banning children under the age of 14 from using social media. It would require 14 and 15-year-olds to obtain parental consent to have accounts. I agree. What say you, panel?
They're 14 years old. Their parents make the decisions. I'm not like, I think it's fine.
I think it's weird that the internet became this place where, because they decided 12 was the age you could make your own profile, therefore parents shouldn't be involved when kids made a profile at 12. Like, that seems bizarre to me. I don't know where the age came from, except for maybe I do.
Right.
Except for maybe I do. Except for maybe we all know what's going on here.
We had Goatsy. We had Lemon Party. We had Meat Spin. And anybody who's been on the internet for a long time knows exactly what those horrible things are. And even knowing those things...
I think that passed all me by. So.
Oh, yeah. Knowing these things, these people who made these companies were like, we think 13 is a good age for the internet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
We've talked about it amongst ourselves, and based on our judgment, we think that we should have 13-year-olds online.
18.
I think that, I think parents should be empowered to be involved in their children's lives, and I think the internet is no different, right? In some ways, I think the internet got marketed to so many people as just this place where there's information and silly videos, and that's obviously not true.
So they shouldn't have accounts on, it seems to me, on X. They should not have accounts on Facebook. I don't think there's any way a minor can interact in a way that can be policed, even with parental permission. I just don't see how that would work.
Didn't you need a .edu email to make a Facebook way back in the day? Because it was like specifically for I could be wrong on this.
Maybe you're right.
Like when it first started, because it was about networking among college students. At least then you're over 18.
Can we address the fact that Twitter's minimum age is 13 and they allow porn?
Yep.
But why is it still like this? I thought Elon Musk took over.
There should not be the fact that the state of Florida has passed legislation, for Florida, that's going to be probably minimally effective at doing anything. It really comes down to the parents, honestly. These kind of things. This is like, what time should your kids go to bed? Questions. This is making sure that your kids. This is making sure your kids are taking care of their own hygiene kind of things, or you're teaching them how to take care of their own hygiene kind of things. This is basic parent stuff, and if you're not doing this, then you're dropping the ball as a parent. I'm sorry if it upsets you, but that's the truth. There are certain things that you are responsible for by being a parent, and being a parent means you're responsible for your kid. And that means what your kid's doing. And just because your kid can have a conversation with you doesn't mean your kid is an adult, and you don't want to be your kid's friend. You want to be your kid's a parent. So grow up, millennials. You guys are awful.
So I'm wondering how easy it would be for a child to bypass these requirements in order to get an account. And I think that's one of the challenges.
I mean,
of course.
Well, and different states have proposed different ways around this. Like some of them, you needed express written content from the parents. Sometimes
everybody knows that the people the people that have kids that are working at these social media companies, they have flip phones. They all have flip phones.
Yeah. Their kids aren't allowed on these platforms.
And kids would find their dad's magazines.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But you don't open the door for them. Mm-hmm. There's like a certain age where maybe you talk to your kids.
You don't leave them in the kids' room.
You don't hand them to your kid. Here you go, kid. Like I'll get you a new one every month. And no. They go into the 7-Eleven, and I don't know if they still do this. I don't think 7-Eleven has the magazine rack anymore, do they?
I don't think it has. They don't. No, I don't.
But they used to have and it's like they'd have the dirty magazines in the rack, but they'd be in black plastic so you couldn't see them. You just see like the top or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yet we don't let kids go in and just buy these things. How have we opened the door on social media for all this stuff?
Again, I think it's because when the internet came out, people just did not understand what was being opened up, and it seemed like it was a necessity before people really understood the implications of having access to, everything the internet has, both good and evil, and also allowing the internet into your home, which is like inviting strangers to your home.
It's Satan. That's why we have it on the internet. It's I don't use this term lightly. These are demonic forces trying to destroy our children, and let's be blunt about it. There's nothing intellectual about it. It is a dark, evil movement within our country trying to target sexual activity at our kids, trying to justify adult interaction with children of a sexual nature absolutely demonic.
It's all justifiable in queer theory. This is a topic that keeps coming up because everything horrible is essentially in queer theory. The theory goes that the idea of childhood innocence or the idea of innocence at all must be thrown out.
A false construct.
Because it's a construct. There is no innocence, and you can see it when you read queer theory papers. There's one by Little Miss Hot Mess. She says that that's her name. I didn't make it up. I'm not lying here. She says that kids are kinky, or they say that kids are kinky. I think it's Gail Rubin wrote Thinking Sex, and that is full of absolute disgusting things. She talks about intergenerational relationships. Foucault, who's a Marxist, postmodernist Marxist, he was working to get the French government to roll back the age of consent, and at the time it was 15. So this, yeah, it's disgusting, and it goes back to all.
He was like, not enough.
Yeah, and even Herbert Marcuse, who I've talked about a bunch of times, he's a disgusting leftist slimeball that was basically writing papers justifying anything the left wants to do. He wrote this book called Eros and Civilization, which is full of just deviance. And it's something that the left does because the left wants to break down rules about purity because it doesn't believe in the rules that anyone makes.
Well, I wonder if the I'm pretty sure under an actual communist regime, you deviate, you degenerate, they gulag you and beat you to death. The issue is breaking the family destroys the working order, which allows them to take over.
Yes. So
they want no competitor to their cadres.
Yes. The theory.
The family, education, religion.
So the stuff that you guys are talking about, that is the method of allowing the communists to take power. That's how they break down the family. They break down the structures that are basically the pillars of your society. They break those down, and that allows them access to power. And then they'll go ahead and start trying to literally tear your society apart because they don't want to, specifically the queer theorists, because they don't believe in rules. They literally just say, well, any rules are to be cast off and as some kind of oppression.
Yeah.
So they say that the law puts the onus on social media companies to enforce the ban, and failure to do so could result in damages of anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000. I say good.
I say good
Civil.
too.
So do parents have a right to sue if there's they don't fail, or who enforces it? Is it civilly enforced by parents?
I don't know. Seems like enforced by the state.
Yeah.
A fine per infraction. And I hope Twitter is I should say X is the first to say, yeah, okay, we shouldn't have 15-year-olds. 14. I don't even know if I agree with the 14 to 15-year-olds to be honest. Unless Elon Musk, it's really, really simple. Anybody, any adult content posted on the site should be auto blurred unless you're logged in and confirmed to be the right age. And I mean, send in your ID for verification.
What good comes from having anyone under the age of 18 on these sites?
Nothing. And the funny joke is, on the internet, no one knows you're 14. Right. Now, the original joke is like, no one knows you're a golden retriever or something like this. But how many people are right now 40-year-old men, 50-year-old men, 35-year-old men and women, and they're arguing with a 13-year-old? And they're posting something like the progressive tax system is an oppressive machine and we should switch to a flat tax. And they get a response, you're an idiot, you have no idea what you're talking about. They start debating, and it's some 12-year-old being like,
yeah,
it happens all the time.
Being trolled.
Yup, 14-year-old has no idea. So there's a funny.
But smart enough to troll you though.
Yeah.
There's a funny meme, and it was someone saying, "Oh, my politics, it's the opposite of whoever I'm trolling right now."
Yeah. So
welcome to the internet.
There's something that there was a point that I wanted to make that I've just lost right out as soon as I was about to talk. So sorry.
It's all the rules being torn away from you. You can't make your points. No, I mean, I think the weirdest thing about social media has always been that it desires access to your children. It desires access to minors. And it's like inviting a stranger in your home. I mean, think of Snapchat. Snapchat is incredibly popular among teenagers. What is Snapchat? It's a messaging app where you talk to someone and it disappears. Like, I'm sorry. That's crazy. Can you imagine if you were like talking to a 45-year-old guy, and they were like, Phil, can I just on my own privately send disappearing messages to your, I don't know, 12-year-old nephew? You'd be like, get out of here, you creep.
So the point that I wanted to make is, like, me and Tom remember when the internet was first, became a thing that you could actually get access to at your home. Everyone knew you didn't give any information out to anyone on the internet. You didn't talk. Everything was secret, and you don't let anyone find out where you live. And you're not. Nowadays, kids can't keep their butthole off the internet.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.